If you're just joining, guys, welcome. So, confidence, content, and cadence. We just told you about confidence. It's everything. Content. There's all sorts of sales training out there. Raise your hand if you've ever bought sales training before. Just physically raise your hand. You don't need to do the clicky click. I can see all of you. Just raise your hands. Okay. All right. That's a travesty. Okay? For me, because of what I know. For you, it could have been an incredible thing. Okay? It could have been compelling. It could have been life-changing. Okay? Here's what you need to understand. I have nothing against any sales trainers of the past. Frankly, anybody that you see on Instagram or Facebook today is very, very likely, probably 80% chance, in my cell phone. Okay? Andy Elliott, Grant Cardone, Jeremy Miner, Tanner Chittister, Brad Lee, very close personal friend of mine. You can check out my Dropping Bombs podcast with Brad. We had a hell of a great time debating lots of stuff. Guys, they're all people I know very well, okay? But one thing they know also is footsteps are coming. Some guy from Central New York who's a nobody car dealer is starting to make some serious waves in the world of sales training. Why? Because I have simplified it. Because what my compatriots in the industry, guys, I got to mute you. Richard, that's the last call, buddy. One more time, I got to boot you. I'm sorry. My compatriots in sales training want you to believe that selling is difficult because it allows them to upsell you. It allows them to have masterminds. It allows them to create additional courseware. It allows them to put you in thread campaigns and continue to drip and nurture you and try to get you to continue spending money. Guys, if you engage with our company, and there's going to be an offer to at the end, and it'll be somewhere in the middle as well. Guys, if you engage with our company, it's one time. You learn the Pay to Persuade training discipline, and you can close every closable deal. It's factually that simple. With the same amount of absolute surety that I'm saying what I'm saying right now, that is a fact, okay? So let's move on. Content, talk training, word tracks, rebuttals, sayings, comebacks, one-liners. Did everybody write that word down? Good. Now draw a big line through it. You don't want talk training. Want to know why? Because you shouldn't be talking like the sales trainer teaching you the talk training. Authenticity sells, confidence closes. Write that down exactly where you drew a line through talk training. Authenticity sells, confidence closes. What that means, I'm going to sidestep real quick and explain something to you about a man called Michael Faraday. Who knows who Michael Faraday is? Or was, rather. One man, two ladies. Three. Okay, we got three. Michael Faraday was a scientist, for lack of a more verbose term. Okay? Michael Faraday studied electromagnetics. He studied frequencies. He studied a lot of things. One that was incredibly important was frequencies and waves. Okay? He studied the state of certain objects because he was trying to solve for progression in technology. He created something called a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is a room devoid of all sounds and frequencies. You may go to Best Buy sometimes and see little zipper bags. They look like deposit bags from the bank. They're called Faraday cases. They're meant to put your cell phone in. Your smartphone, they say it can cause cancer when it's near your head. You put your phone in a Faraday case, the waves can't get to you while you sleep, so you won't get any cancer, okay? Sorry, guys. I had to, unfortunately. No, not Amy. There we go. Okay. So, guys, the Faraday cage is a room devoid of all frequencies, all waves. If you're in a Faraday cage, nothing gets in or out. Talking about 5G. We hear all about that. Talking about microwaves. We're talking about radio frequencies. Talking about X-rays, gamma rays, beta rays, and the other letter of the Greek alphabet rays. So, anyways, Faraday cage. What is it? It's a room. Nothing gets out. Okay? They've taken human beings at length and they've studied them inside of a Faraday cage in emotional heightened states. Anger, bitterness, loss, grief, elation, love, romance, you name it, they've measured it. Here's what they discovered. Human beings actually emit a measurable frequency on laboratory equipment. Think back to your high school tech days, the little green zippy thing that goes across the screen called the oscilloscope. Yeah, us old people are nodding our heads. The youngsters are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's not on my iPhone. Guys, you can measure the state of a human being's emotion by measuring the wave. If they're angry, it's a sharp wave. If they're happy, it's a soft wave with some excitement to it. They visually represent on laboratory equipment. Here's what they discovered. There is one frequency and waveform that human beings emit that is 4 times stronger than anything else you can possibly feel. It's the frequency of authenticity. When a human being is speaking to you authentically, honestly, on a topic that they feel they have authority on, with, ready for it, confidence. When someone is speaking to you confidently with authority, it resonates with you 4 times higher than anything else. So now consider the talk training. Somebody teaches you word tracks, phone scripts, one-liners, things to say. People improve when they receive this information for one reason and one reason alone. It boosts their confidence. You spend thousands of dollars with Andy Elliott, you're going to get a major boost in your confidence. And just so you know, Andy and I know each other. We're amicable. We lifted weights. Well, we didn't lift weights. We were in the same building, breaking each other's balls. But he's an awesome guy. And if that's your thing, rock and roll. He's the best at it, okay? That's if you want to be motivated, get a six-pack, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and call that sales. That's not sales, okay? It's part of it. Good nutrition, good exercise, those kind of things are part of it. They'll help you work harder, okay? The reason that talk training can be effective is because it boosts your confidence. Plain and simple, guys. When you spend a few $1,000s on a sales training from a big banner and neon lights and a big hoorah group, you're like, dude, I'm in the club now. I'm one of them. I got the words. I got the gospel. I'm going to go sell. And then you go do it. And you get results. Decent results. Nothing outstanding, just decent. Because why? Because you're confident. Because you're conveying information to your customers in a way where they believe, damn, this guy's an authority on it. Because you believe what you're saying. Because I just took the such and such sales training. I just took the Flim Flam University. I was part of the so-and-so XYZ mastermind. I'm one. I'm just like everybody else in there. Okay? That plateaus for about 30 days and then goes bye-bye forever. Until you go back and you get another shot in the arm. Okay? Because that's what it does. And that's why their method sustains so well. And for those of you who have engaged with that type of training, I'm seeing a whole bunch of dirty smirks across the room. People are like, God damn, that is exactly what happened. Why? Because it's science, it's reality. It's not your fault. You didn't get duped. You saw something that was marketed well to you. It did its job. It got you to engage. That's the bottom line, guys. That's what happened, okay? But the reason that you're still kind of itching for more, the reason you're still out searching and seeking is because nobody has solved your sales problem. Your sales problem is solved when you believe that you can enter into sales discourse with any human being, qualify them immediately, and if they're qualified, thank you, Steve Jobs, and if they're qualified, close them quickly, concisely, with the most gross profit possible. If you can do that right now on every customer, beyond a shadow of a doubt, never once do you go to a customer and say, well, Mr. Customer, we're at $489. You said you wanted to be under $500 a month. You said you wanted a 4-wheel drive. It's a 4x4. You said you wanted red. You said you wanted extended cab. We're there on everything. You wanted to put only tax and fees down. That's $2,250. There it is. We got everything hit right on the head. Let's make the deal. If you're still at that point going, I hope he says yes. I mean, we should be there. I mean, I think I got it. You have not solved your sales problem. Furthermore, if you've been talking to a customer for 20 minutes and you don't know for a point of fact that you have a deal or you absolutely don't have a deal, and when I say absolutely don't have a deal, I mean like I'm 17 years old, I'm not even on the credit bureau yet, I have no money, no license, and I'm not here to buy anything unless you can finance me a Subaru WRX for $150 a month. Okay? That's not a deal. I mean not a deal, because it can't be by law. Otherwise, you know full well with absolute confidence, yep, I got this one. If you know that, God bless you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. You don't need any help. Apparently, you've already engaged with me. The rest of you can solve that sales problem. It's incredibly simple. The marketplace would not like you to believe that's so. Okay? Confidence, content. So what is the content? These 3 C's that I need. Okay? You need something called a non-objectionable close. A non-objectionable close. That means that your customer cannot object. Okay? It's like meeting Cupid and taking all the arrows out of that cute little leather satchel and then asking him to shoot somebody. He's just going to do it. There's nothing there, okay? It's like taking the clip out of somebody's gun and asking them to defend themselves. They're going to die, okay? Because there's no bullets in the gun. When you take the objections from your customer, you disarm them completely. When you disarm them completely, you close every deal. See that? See how that works? Now, think of what you see in the marketplace. Objection training. How to overcome the I need to think about an objection on YouTube. How to handle I need to talk to my wife in 60 seconds on Instagram. On so-and-so's channel this Friday. What to do if they want to think about it. You can, if you choose, never deal with that again. It's called content. Compassionate interrogation. We teach something called the big three. In your sales conversations, you must solve for three things. Three things that once you solve for them, you will create a non-objectionable close. Ready? I'll give them to you for free. Time, money, and third party. Guys, get in the chat with your questions. You want value? Ask the questions. Time, money, and third party. And just so you guys know, in that chat, if you put your email address and the word roll call, I will allow you to attend a live role-playing event that I'm holding this week. Roll call, R-O-L-E, call. Put it in the chat with your email. I will literally give you for free, no charge, access to a live role-playing event that I'm holding this week, okay? If you truly want to get better, guys, you need to be reflexive, okay? It's the reason that fighters stay on the pads up until the moment they walk into the ring is because they need to be reflexive. They can't think, thank you, Joseph, and everyone else. Make sure you're putting the word roll call in there with it, okay? Reflexive. You don't see Conor McGregor go out there after taking a swig of proper 12 and just saying, here I am. He's in there, bang, 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 biggada, 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 on the pads up until the moment he walks out into the ring because he must remain reflexive. You do that by role-playing and iterating with a trainer or a fellow peer every single day. Content. Paid to Persuade is the content. What we teach you how to do is a process called compassionate interrogation. Now, I only have an hour, so I cannot go through all of this. I can give you plenty of free value. If you can figure it out on your own, God bless you. If you want step-by-step and hold your hand to the finish line with a guarantee, we are the only sales training company in the United States of America that guarantees a monetary outcome, a minimum of 20% increase in your income, or you get all your money back. Nobody else is doing that. Who guarantees things? People that know they can do it, okay? Compassionate interrogation to a non-objectionable close. Remember, guys, roll call with your email in the chat. You can attend a live role-playing event this week. Roll call in the chat with your email. Content. Compassionate interrogation means that you're asking questions. Here's what most people don't understand. You ready for a fun fact that'll make the whole attendance of this webinar worth your trip? If you are talking more than 50% of the time, you're losing. Fortune 100 companies that make billions and trillions of dollars audit their salespeople's phone calls and microphone their offices and audit their interactions. If a salesperson is speaking more than half the time, they are disciplined. If they do it again, they're written up. They do it again, they're let go. Not because they have some dismay with people who like to talk, not because people aren't smooth talkers, because the science, everything that we do at P2P is based in the science of human beings. And not funny, cute Harvard white papers and studies in psychology. No, just the human patterns. The human condition, it's called. Behaviors observed by all human beings and only human beings. You master that, you've mastered selling. Okay? So, compassionate interrogation to a non-objectionable close. The bottom line is, if you're talking more than your customer, you're losing. Why? When do you find out if they need their wife? When your mouth is open? No. Want to know what you're doing right now that's crushing you? You're talking when your customer is trying to give you the objections. They're trying. You're not allowing them because your ego is telling you, I must sell them. I must persuade them. I must convince them. Like the goddamn Terminator. You're on this mission. Oh, I got to butterfly the car, and I must pop the hood, and I must make sure I open all 4 doors, and I must make sure I open the trunk, and I must lift and show where the spare is. I must follow the policies and procedure. I must do exactly as I've been told. Doesn't matter, guys. You know how many cars I've sold going, yeah, do you like it? It's red. Anyways, back to what we were saying. Done. Dead serious. Guys, they don't need all that extra song and dance. They want to talk to you. Do you know what happens when people talk about themselves? Remember in the beginning when I told you I was a drug addict? Okay? Brad Lee likes to say ex-drug addict or former drug addict. Unfortunately, if you got cancer, you always got cancer. Okay? You may be in remission, but if you forget about it and let it fly, it's going to come back and it's going to take you. So me, I'm a recovered drug addict. I'm always going to remember those days. Okay? But what I do remember is why I was addicted to drugs. Because it gave me an overwhelming spike in a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that makes you feel euphoric. Euphoria means everything's okay, money's not a problem, my girlfriend ain't leaving me, the milkman's car in the driveway was no big deal, he was just delivering milk, I don't have to worry about my car payment, that's not for another 3 days, life is good. Peanut butter and jelly and Lay's, no big deal, man. May as well be steak and wine. Euphoria. It comes from dopamine production. Do you know what spikes dopamine production? Probably whatever that guy's smoking. Nice pouty fluff of clouds right there. Man, he's going in. If you saw my view, you'd see a lot of marijuana smoke. Anyways, dopamine is created by self-talk. When human beings talk about themselves, they get excited. Go to your kids, ask them how their day was. Okay? They're going to start talking to you. Now, really act interested and start asking them questions through a process that we call ALR, the active listening response. And it's a hell of a lot different than just active listening. Make sure you listen actively. No, you need ALR. And it's a technique that we teach. And I don't have the time to go through it right now, but if you want a customer to be absolutely magnetically sucked into your conversation, use ALR. So, how do you spike your customers' dopamine? Very simple. You get them talking about themselves. We have techniques. Everything that we teach is based in the rule of 3. So everything that you learn happens in groups of 3. It's the easiest thing for a human being to remember. We are literally the easiest and most concise sales training that you can possibly purchase. Okay? We are also one of the lesser expensive. So, compassionate interrogation to a non-objectionable close using dopamine. Little clue for you about dopamine though. You got to know when to use it. Dopamine has what's called a peak period and a trough period. You spike the dopamine at the wrong time and you don't get the close then, you get a trough phase, which is when the customer is emotionally depressed. On a very small scale, but good luck trying to get money from somebody when they're going through a trough phase. You ever seen a drug addict who's looking for their heroin? Crack addict on the hunt? They don't care about anything. They're pissed off, they're angry, they'll rob you to get money to go get their drug because they are not concerned about the conversation in front of them. On a much more minor level, that's what happens with your customer when they trough. Okay? Guys, content. If the sales training that you have is not teaching you these things, if these things are not like second nature to you and you know this stuff the same way you know your kids' names and how to iron your shirt, this is a problem. You want to get to double your commissions in 90 days or less? These things need to be second nature. These things need to be things that you're training with every single day, that you remember, flow, ALR, the groups of 3 types of financing. Guys, I can teach you how to qualify a customer for credit, know their credit score, whether or not they've had auto loans in the past, whether or not they've ever had a repo, whether or not their credit score is actually a bureau score or a Credit Karma score, and whether or not they're going to qualify, whether or not they're going to be able to buy this vehicle and drive it off in the parking lot and take that spot delivery at the rate you're quoting today. I can teach you how to do that in 5 minutes. You don't need to go to your finance officer. You don't need a goddamn computer. The data is there. You need to know how to assemble it. We have a process called the 3 types of financing. I don't have the time to teach it to you tonight. One of the reasons that you're not as effective as you could be in your sales conversations is because you get to the end and you find out your customer doesn't qualify. By show of hands, lose your egos, tell the truth. How many of you have ever gotten a yes from a customer only to find out they don't qualify? I don't see a hand down, okay? Everybody's raising their hand. Yes, wow, okay. Everybody. There's a lot of people on the call tonight, okay? Love each and every one of you. You want to know why that happened? because you didn't qualify. You thought you did. You remember that young person that was like, yeah, I got good credit. You're like, okay, you got good credit. I've got good credit. Don't worry about it. Okay, great. You're sure? I'm sure, dude. All right, fine. So you go show them that $65,000 truck, and then you sit down, and they make the deal, and you fill out the credit app, and you bring it back to the box. And the stick man goes, dude, this guy's got a Capital One credit card. He's had it for 3 payments. It's maxed out. He's got no money down. What do you think he's buying a freaking $65,000 truck for? Dude, the guy said he had good credit. Hey, Mr. Smith, yeah, I thought you said you had good credit, sir. I do. It's right here. Look, Credit Karma says 628 green. Good. Guys, never again. Never again. If you ever allow that to happen to you again, you've done it to yourself. You're being given access to how to solve every one of these problems right now in this moment. If you choose not to execute upon it, that's on you. You can't blame anybody else, okay? Again, guys, if you want to attend a live role-playing event, roll call with your email in the chat. The word roll call in the chat with your email, okay? Excuse me. And guys, I'm looking in the chat, okay? And I don't see any questions. Yes, I do. Okay, now they're coming. Guys, put the questions in there, okay? This is world-class information, okay? $1,000 an hour to coach with me privately. $1,000 an hour. You have access right now to ask questions. Please use this, okay? Content, paid to persuade. Everything in groups of 3, nice, easy packages that you remember. I just took a testimonial before I hopped on this call, and I said, Vic, Laddie knows Vic from Oklahoma. Vic, what's the one thing that you could say? Everybody, Laddie's nodding to me. No one else sees it, but thank you, Laddie. If you could have heard Vic, you said, Vic, what's the one thing that you would tell somebody else that was looking to engage with us? Like, significant amount of money. It's not just pocket change. Like, why should they do it? He goes, bro, because it's just, I've solved selling. It's easy. It's concise. In like less than 2 weeks, I had already gone through the training. I was able to, I really took my time and I really absorbed it. I go through it every single day. I said, well, what does that mean for you from a monetary standpoint? He says, my entire company is up 20%. I said, well, what's that mean from a monetary standpoint? He says, for me, yeah, $50,000. Oh, yeah, it was worth your money. Simple. If it seems complex, it is complex. If it is complex, it's hard to retain. If it's hard to retain, you can't communicate it authentically. You simply can't. Content. You need to be able to fire, like Doc Holliday in the movie Tombstone, from your hip at a moment's notice and take out a bottle on a fence post 100 yards away and go like this. That's just what I do. It needs to be simple and it needs to come off authentic. When you have the content, when you know how to compassionately interrogate your customer and solve for time, money, and third party at the outset, you will sell every closable deal. Why? Because when you strip your customer of all their objections, they can no longer object, okay? The beginning of this webinar, we talked about getting you to double your commissions in 90 days or less. This is how you do it. Number 1, mindset. There are many mindset trainings available all across the world. Internet courses, masterminds, island retreats with Tony Robbins. You can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. When I created Paid to Persuade sales training, which, so you guys know, is an online training platform. You log in, it takes you start to finish, tests, interactivity, community, hours upon hours of content. Yes, I see you in there, guys. I'll answer the questions here shortly. How would I generate more business? You've been selling for 20 plus years. I'm glad you asked. Stand by. I'll address that in just a moment. Guys, this platform houses everything that you need, and you can train at your own pace. It works on your phone. It works on your computer. And what it does is it gives you content. The content brings you the confidence. Okay? Let's talk about the 4 principal things we discussed at the beginning of the webinar. Number 1 is mindset, okay? When I built this sales training, I understood one thing and one thing alone. You cannot make double your commissions and get to what we call it paid to persuade the other half of your money if you still think the same way you did when you were in high school. when you were in college. The head nods are crazy. Thank you for the feedback, guys. You just can't, okay? I made 120 grand a year after year after year after year after year in the car business. Why? The market was getting better. The banks were loosening up. Inventory was stronger. Why? Why? Because no one in my family, no one in my life, no one I knew had ever broke 120. I'd never seen it done. I had what's called a mental barrier. Write that down. Mental barrier. We teach you how to overcome them. Unfortunately for you, you have many mental barriers that you do not even know exist. You don't know it, guys. Take it from somebody who knows. Take it from a humble man who spent 30 years of his life thinking I knew everything there was to know about myself. I had slept in dumpsters. I had slept under bridges. I had banged on dealers' doors in the morning begging for cocaine. I was a fiend. And I remained that way until I learned about my mental barriers. All it took was discovering one of them. And in a moment, behind a prison wall, my life changed forever. It was something from my childhood, something that popped up. If I had never gotten past that, I would have never, ever gotten the type of success I have now. A man came to me and offered me $150,000 to start a little car dealership. Why? Because I broke my barriers. Because I started behaving in a way that the absolute monsters of society, the millionaires, they spot it. They can pick it out of a crowd. It's an it factor. They can recognize it. I had it. Only once I got over my mental barriers. You want more out of your life? You need to behave in a way to where the people that have the things you want and are the places you want to be, you need to behave in a way where they take notice of you. Guys, you can Google my story. I was on the cover of Used Car Dealer magazine in May of 2023. They did an entire expose. I'm on the cover. Read the story. I had no plans of becoming a used car dealer, at least in the near future. Guy came and dropped a checkbook with 150 grand on it in my lap that had my name on it. Says, write one check for $5 and go cash it and we'll consider it a commitment. I'm like, what the fuck? What? And then he explained to me what the business model was, and that if I did what he thought I could do, that I could buy him out in 4 years. And all I had to do was X, Y, and Z, and this is the rent, and this is the capital, and this is what we're going to do. That was in 2016. In 2020, I bought Rich Lester out for $36,000. That was the agreed upon figure. At that time, CNY Drives had a valuation of $12.5 million. I bought a $12.5 million business for 36 grand. Why? Because he spotted something in me after I broke my barriers. Why did he do it? Because he's a man of his word. And so am I. And that's how we remain partners for 4 years. And if you are not that, and if your customer does not receive you as that or a woman of your word, it ain't gonna happen. You will never get to life-changing success unless people can count on you. Unless your customers look at you as the Brock of goddamn Gibraltar. Boy, I tripped over my tongue there, didn't I? Rock, ladies and gentlemen, not the Brock. The Rock of Gibraltar. Strong. Able to sustain the winds and the rains. Ain't moving. If your customers don't see you that way, if they don't look at you and go, holy shit, that is the model of professionalism and discourse. Authenticity. Shit, I'd hand that kid my newborn. I trust that sumbitch. They'll give you every penny they have. Why? Because they want to. Guys, you need to understand something. When you figure this out, you don't have to ask for the money anymore. That's your sales problem solved. You're asking people to buy things. When you get good at this, when you train with us, because you understand compassionate interrogation, you understand discourse, the sales problem is solved. You know how to make them hand you the money. This is real, guys. That's why I'm yelling. That's why that little vein is popping out like it always does. Because I'm passionate. You're receiving the frequency of authenticity. That's what you need to give your customers. And it's real. And until you know how to do it, you will not get to the other half of your money. Horace says, how to bump those customers that will not budge. You don't have them, Horace. You don't have them. You do now. Unless you are ousting every objection at the outset. unless you are able to configure your sales discourse with your customer in a way that leads to a non-objectionable close, you'll have that. And I know it seems like a real simple thing to say. Well, my answer is you just won't have it. But you won't. Let me explain why. Because at the outset of the conversation, you will solve for what a bump is. And if you believe one is coming based upon the credit qualification, the consumer qualification, the product display, and you know it's coming, you will do what we call, ready, write it down, pre-frame. You will pre-frame the objection before it comes. Like, Mr. Customer, so on and so forth. Let me ask you a question. If we got to that point, everything lined up and it was what it was, it's probably going to end up being somewhere around this, that, and a third, but it probably wouldn't be reasonable, so we don't want to go down that path, even though it would net you this, and this positive result. Well, it's called an inferred statement. You tell them they won't. Guess what, guys? They're compelled to argue with you. It's human nature. You want to be a rock star? Learn how to manipulate the human condition. Get them to tell you, oh, no, I would. Yeah, I would. Oh, you would consider it. Yeah. Well, I just didn't think you would because of X, Y, Z. No, don't prejudge me. I'd be willing to consider it. I'm not broke. Okay, so if everything lined up, you would consider it. Of course I would. Okay, well then we'll show it to you. Guess what happens when it's bump time? Your egomaniacal, overly confident, tripped over his tongue 20 minutes ago customer goes, $689? Let's do it. Because you backed him into a logical corner. Because that's what you do when you have content and it's backed by confidence. Now let's talk about cadence. Who are my drummers? Who knows how to drum? Who knows their rudiments? Yeah, my man. You look like a drummer, bro. Takes one to know one. It's a nice tie, by the way, bro. Paradiddles, flams, ratamakus, those are drum rudiments. They teach you how to operate in a cadence. Who's ever been to a college football or basketball game? More so football or outdoors. Okay. You know at the beginning where you hear the brrrr of the whistle, then chum chicka chicka chum 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 chicka chicka chum chum chum, and they all start marching? Yeah. Bop did it, boom, bop, that was like a digga boom, yeah. It's cadence. Oh, I have your attention now, don't I? Yeah. You want to know why I can do that? You want to know why I can sit here and say I have a receding hairline, my armpits are sweaty, and I'm drinking off-brand water and I don't care? Want to know why? Because I have an infallible level of confidence. Why? Because I am a rock star at what I do. And you're all sitting here. We entered with 32. We still have 32. Look at that after an hour. 100% retention on a webinar is impossible. If you ask Alex Hormozy, you ask Tony Robbins, 80 is good, 85 is better, 95, you're a rock star. Well, we're at 100. That's the frequency of authenticity. That's confidence backed by content. So now let's talk about cadence. We're at an hour. Would you like me to stop? I can stop and go home now. Raise your hand if you'd like me to stop. Put in the chat, stop. Nobody wants stop. We'll keep going. Cadence. No more silly dancing. Just the facts. Cadence. Who knows the word congruent? Those two little lines with a little wavy guy on top, congruent. Means not exactly the same, but very similar to rhythm and practice. Tom Brady. What did he do? Met Bill Belichick, said, I'll see you during February Super Bowl. Nope. He showed up to practice. Every day. First there, last to leave. Off the bench the whole time. Kobe Bryant. He said, practice beats talent every day of the week. And it does. Do you know that Steph Curry will not leave the court after a basketball game unless he makes, I believe the number 16, I could be wrong, you fact checkers will get me. Unless he makes 16 absolute swish, nothing but net shots in a row, he will not walk off the court. That is because he is maniacally obsessed with cadence. Conor McGregor, 4 in the morning, every single morning, so hungover that he still reeks like proper 12 Irish whiskey, still at practice. Guys, when you become reflexive in your ability to sell, meaning Absolutely I will, Horace. Yes, I will teach you what to work on. Okay? Horace is here. He was here last week. He engaged with us. He's part of the club. Congratulations, Horace. Of course we will. Guys, you need to practice. But here's the problem. You're practicing the wrong shit. Role-playing with your buddies on what to say when somebody says they need to talk to their wife. Fundamentally wrong. You need to be role-playing how to never get that objection in the first place. That's how you solve it, guys. I cannot make it any more clear to you. If you are currently receiving the following objections, I want to think about it. I need to talk to my wife. It's not the right time. The price is too high. I need more for my trade. And many, many more just like this. You don't have it. You got the wrong information. Guys, doesn't it just feel different, this conversation that we're having? This isn't your typical bullshit. This is not guy talk training. I'm not going to say, all right, guys, now, when he says this, you say that, and everybody goes, oh, he trapped him in a corner. Here's what happens. Mr. Customer, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be better or worse for your wife? Well, I want to be better. Okay. And if you want to be better for your wife, do you think she'd like a more masculine man or a less masculine man? Oh, she'd probably like a more masculine man. Okay, that big old pickup truck out there that you're looking at, that's $10.57 a month. That's twice the car payment. I get it, it's expensive, but doesn't that make a man look more masculine? Well, yes, it does, absolutely does. Certainly. So if your wife wants you to be better and more masculine makes you better, and that truck makes you more masculine, doesn't the $10.57 make sense, sir? No. Now what do we do? Is it another word track? Is it another one-liner? Do we call for a TO? What do we do? You don't know. That's why you're here. You're here because you want me to solve your sales problem. But I can't tell you what you want to hear, which is it's just one cute one-liner away. No. You need new information. And you need to work. You need the content, which will bring you the confidence. It will make you an executioner, and then you will stay that way under one condition. You have cadence in the Paid to Persuade online sales training platform. We audit you. Guys, you're human beings. You know what happens when you're left to your own devices? You become unaccountable. You bite your fingernails. You have one too many beers. You hit your snooze button. You pick up your dry cleaning late. You tell your kids you'll do it and you don't do it. The list goes on. It's part of the human condition. And you can solve it. But you can't do it on your own. That is a fact. You need a mentor. You need a coach. At Paid to Persuade, we guarantee results. How do we do that? We coach you. We hold you accountable. We audit your sales training. We make sure you're doing it. We don't do it in a mean way or a condescending way. You pay us money. You're the boss. But we remind you, a little gentle email. Hey man, why weren't you on Closers Club? Oh yeah, that's right. The call. Yeah. You need to be on a call every week with your mentor. You talk to one of my competitors, they'll upsell you to it. Absolutely. Rodney, I'll answer that question in 2 seconds. Rodney wants to know how much it is to sign up, so on and so forth. Okay? Guys, you need accountability. Someone's got to hold you accountable. That's the cadence. At Paid to Persuade, we are the only sales training company that when you engage with us, we include your first month of coaching calls with your purchase. No charge. It's included. It's only on this webinar. You don't get that normally. Normally, it's $100 a month. Okay? But stop and think about that. $100. Wait, he said $100 a month, 99, but like $25 a week. Yep, it's ridiculously cheap. Why? Because I'm optimizing for results. If you guys could see the faces that I see, this is what I see. And they were the same faces of the people that I asked who had bought sales training before. Okay, guys, and it's not the problem is not solved at $100 a month. Okay, don't get excited. That's for the practice. Okay, you want to get this good? $19.97. Webinar only, and here's what it includes. We put together a series of packages for this. And guys, the reasons you got the goosebumps and the chills and the reason you're still sitting there and the reason we're at, 99% retention is because this information makes sense. Because it's hitting you and you're going, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. If you're not, tell me in the chat. Here's the problem, guys. You've been fed bad data. What do I think about buying leads? If you can close them, buy as many as you can get, Horace. Guys, you've been programmed with the wrong data. Until you unprogram yourself and program yourself with the new data, you're not going to experience the solution. You will not solve your problem unless you reprogram and re-engage. There are 3 packages that I'm offering on this webinar. It is the most inexpensive, full circle sales training that you can get on the marketplace. And it is the best. When does that ever happen in your life? When the Mercedes is also the cheapest. The Bugatti, as far as I'm concerned. Normally, to engage with us, it costs $2,000. And that's it. No private coaching. You got to pay for your monthly calls. $2,000 is the threshold. Laddie's nodding his head like, you prick, I didn't get any deals. Webinar special, Laddie. That's real, guys. It's real value. He's over there like, goddamn, okay? Because it's real. And Laddie, you can talk to Laddie if you want to in the chat. But he's experienced incredible results, okay? Laddie was working for a company where they were closing at, I think, mid-20s, and he went up into the 40s. Then he started with a new company. Everybody else was closing, what was it, Laddie, 40 to 50s, and then you were in the 70s. Is that accurate? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's real, okay? Platinum package, guys. I'm going to put the links in the chat right now, okay? Very simple. All you have to do is click the link, okay? I'm going to put it in the chat right now. There you go. Everybody look at the chat. Sorry, guys. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. My computer was optimizing to send that information to Gigi. So Gigi, I apologize for the 2 messages. Okay? Look at the chat, everybody. This is the changing that your life is going to, this is the life change that you need. Okay? It's not bullshit. It's reality. It's right there. If you want to get this good, if you want to close every closable deal, if you never want to hunt for sales training again, if you want to know how to get every objection done at the outset and then just move to the sale, optimize for profit and optimize for volume. Platinum package, full-scale sales training, start to finish, everything that you need, $19.97. Remember how I told you to coach with me one-on-one for an hour was $1,000? Everybody remember that? Horace, thank you for that. I don't know if they can see that. Yes, I did call you personally, Horace. What you don't know is I called everybody personally. Everybody that bought and buys. Everywhere, all the time. Vic's testimonial today from Oklahoma Detail Supply. What's the one thing you appreciated the most? You. I was like, oh, that's cute. Man, he goes, no. I mean the access to you. You answered my sales call. When I called and wanted to buy, it was you. It wasn't one of your capos. When I had a question, I emailed you. When I did my Closers Club call, I was expecting to see your lead trainer, vice president of sales, executive CFO. It was you with the same energy, the same intensity, and the same information every time, and that will never bloody change. Want to know why? Because I made a promise to myself when I started this company that that's the way it would remain. Because I bought sales training in the past, and I got bamboozled by the guy with all the glitz and glitter, with the jet planes and the cool Gucci suits, and I bought, and I never saw him again. You'll never not see me again. So if you don't like my voice, my mannerisms, or the way that I train, don't buy it. Because if you buy it, you ain't getting rid of me. Because I am personally accountable for your success moving forward from that point. Platinum package, guys. Full-scale training. What is it? You log in. When you click that link, here's what happens. You spend $19.97, and it's over. The sting is gone. Never again. One time. No upsells. No bullshit. It's over, and you've got it. And what do you have? You have a redemption code where you go to our website and you become a part of the club. You get to go to that little window that everybody loves so much and wishes they could be a part of and click redeem because you've got it now. Like Charlie and Willy Wonka with the golden ticket. You slide it in, you get your access. You immediately get a welcome message from me and you start training. You could do it now It's 8:10 p.m. on the East Coast. You could spend 3 hours tonight going through some of it, and tomorrow you will make more money. That is a fact. You're going to make more money tomorrow because of this damn webinar. Raise your hand if I'm wrong. Okay. It's the only time I'm happy to see no response. Okay. Guys, here's the bottom line. You need confidence, content, and cadence, and that's what's in the Platinum package. The online sales training system, once you log in, there's a welcome message. There's sections. Now, you heard me say earlier in the webinar, if you don't have the right mindset, you can't receive this information. So what do I got to do? I got to go find mindset training, and then I got to go to, nope, because I was not willing to even produce this product until I spent months researching mindset. Who knows who Brad Lee is? A lot of you. He's a legend, okay? Brad Lee's a personal mentor of mine. If you ask Brad Lee, he'll tell you that he's passed the selling torch to me because he believes that I'm probably the only person capable alive, and he said probably because he doesn't know everybody, of being able to train with a level of efficacy that is needed in this marketplace because everybody else is doing talk training. You enter the online platform, guys, you have access to the 0 to 60 framework. This is your mindset training. From top specialists around the world, videos, test outs, certifications, quizzes, everything you need to get certified. It will teach you appropriate workplace hygiene. A lot of you don't need it, a lot of you do. It will teach you appropriate workplace attire, depending on your circumstances and situation. It will teach you how to professionally meet and greet your customer, how to note take, how to set goals, short and long term, how the short-term goals feed into the long-term goals, but more importantly, how to execute upon those goals. Everybody loves to tell you how to set goals. Well, how the F do you solve them? You have to have a program. You have to have a program by which you execute. It's in there. We teach you how to set them and get to them. The 0 to 60 framework literally gives you everything that you need. It eliminates mental barriers. Who remembers the mental barriers we talked about? You got to eliminate those, guys. You got to get rid of them. The only way you get rid of them is with help. That's in the 0 to 60 framework. An hour of one-on-one coaching with who? Not my top sales trainer, not my vice president of sales, yours truly. You will work one-on-one with me where I will personally help you execute this product to its completion, and I will be with you every step of the way. Every step of the way. I'll be with you once a week on your Closers Club calls. I'll be with you on Saturday on your Deal Makers calls. And those are included in the Platinum package for a month for free. From that point, it's $99 a month, forever and ever and ever, and you'll be happy to pay it, I promise you. You'll ask me to pay more. The Deal Makers call happens on Saturdays. It's car guys and girls only. I teach you how to crush it every Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning. Fired up, motivated, ready to rock with me. Saturday morning sales meeting with me, guys. This is the only time I'm going to be egomaniacal. Can you imagine a better sales rally on a Saturday morning than with me getting you fired up? That's one of the best parts about the whole goddamn thing, guys. Accountability and execution once a week on a Saturday, okay? Closers Club on Mondays, Monday evening, with salespeople across the world, across all verticals, all industries, any type of sales. They're in there. The elite salespeople of the world, you'll be training, role-playing, talking to, networking with, iterating with. Laddie just got a job offer from one of them out of Florida, or is getting one. She asked me permission to talk to him. Guys, people network in there. You're a product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's what I've created that network for, okay? Personal accountability, guys. You need it, we give it to you. Closers Club call every Monday evening where we do this and we role play. Reflexive, guys. Reflexive. That's how you stay that way. Cadence. So, Platinum package, online training platform, Saturday morning call, Monday evening call, and an hour of personal development coaching and planning with me. That's a $1,000 value plus a $2,000 value plus a $300 value plus a $300 value. That's a lot of money. Do the math. $4,000, little over $4,000 for $19.97. And guys, for this webinar only, I have not done this for prior webinars. This is a fact. For this webinar, I'm going to give you guys access to what I call roll call. It's live role playing with me. The people who put roll call in the chat, they're going to get access to watch it. You purchase that package tonight, you're going to get access to participate. And you will role play with me. You want to do it privately, we can. You can do it publicly. I recommend you do it publicly. It's how you get better. Get comfortable being uncomfortable is one of the core teachings of Paid to Persuade. That's how you do it. Okay, diamond package. You get an hour of coaching, which is normally $1,000. You also get access to the Deal Makers call on Saturday for a month. That's $4.99. An hour of coaching with yours truly and access to the Deal Makers call. It's a taste. You get me for an hour, you get access to the call for a month, you get a taste, okay? And then finally, the gold package. That's the Deal Makers call. Guys, if all you got is $100, that's the only reason that package is there, okay? You should be buying the platinum package, not because I want your money, guys. Any of you know anything about sales training? It is peanuts in comparison to the competition. I'm doing these webinars to build the Paid to Persuade base so people know we are here. You will get it cheaper than it can ever be purchased. I assure you of that. The platinum package is absolutely the way to go. If you do not purchase it and you have the ability, the only person you have to blame is yourself. You know deep down inside within you that this is what you need. Because it resonates. Because it makes sense. Finally, that's correct, Horace. It is commission from one deal. Okay? Guys, here's where we're going to get to the questions. Okay? We still got a lot of people on this call. Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning here. I promised you guys I'd answer these questions. Okay, Horace says, what do you think about companies that say they can get you leads for a fee? They can, Horace. The quality of the lead is going to be dependent on how much you pay, okay? The more you pay, they offer you a $2 lead, you're going to get what you get for $2, okay? Here's what they're doing. They're running ads on social media, on the internet, on radio, on TV, to a collective, okay? And then they're dispersing them. So one thing you got to understand about purchase leads is that other people are getting them too. Unless you purchase exclusive leads, which are incredibly expensive, and then you're the only one getting them, but you're paying for them substantially. Guys, in the Paid to Persuade online platform, we have a whole section about personal branding and filling your pipeline. I go into this, guys. This is all there. I should have mentioned this in a call. I'm kicking my ass because I didn't on the webinar with the rest of the people who were here. But guys, this information is in there. We teach how to personal brand, reach out to local businesses, run your own B2B campaign, get yourself a Facebook presence, Instagram presence. These are all things that we do for no additional money. This is all in there. Why? Because I know what it takes to get you to an insane amount of money, and I've put it in there, and we don't charge any extra for it, okay? So Horace, that's what I think about companies that say they can get you leads. Your problem is inconsistency? Not anymore, sir. Not if you engage with Paid to Persuade, because we keep you accountable. We keep you accountable. For those of you who haven't figured it out yet, you're your worst enemy. The same reason you're going, oh, I know I got the money, but I don't. Inaction. That's your problem. Inaction. The people who are beating you, they took action. Long ago, long before now. They went, $2,000, that's nothing. That's nothing. I made $58,000 last year. 20% on top of that is about $12,000. That's $70,000 this year. $2,000, yeah, that's worth it. But that's the minimum. That's the guarantee. Guys, no company in their right mind guarantees their top end result. They guarantee their minimum. We have yet to see somebody get any sort of efficacy that's anywhere near 20% or below it, guys. That's the minimum. So it justifies itself. It cost justifies itself all the way around, okay? Next question. How would you generate more business? I've been selling for 20 years. Guys, again, in the console, we go over this, okay? In the online training, okay? I'm 63 years old. I want to retire in 5 years. I believe you can give me. I absolutely can, bro, but you need to get the training. You need to get the full-scale training. I can't get you there on one call a week, okay? That's just a fact. I'm not Jesus Christ, okay? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to try to pawn you for $99, okay? $99 will get you more information than you have now. It will get you access to our call. It will be helpful. But the goal is not to turn you into a phenom for a 1 hour on a Saturday. It's not going to happen, okay? What it does is it gets you better. When you get better, it allows you to make more money. When you make more money, it allows you to engage and get the entire sales trading. You need the full package. You sound too good to be true. Met Andy Elliott in 2019. In 2020, made 20K more. I'm expecting more from you. Just seems like you know what you're talking about. So you met Andy Elliott, and I know what I'm talking about more than Andy Elliott. And you made 20 grand with Andy Elliott. That should tell you something, okay? If you're making 100 grand a year and you made 20 grand more, that's the minimum we guarantee. So what you got from him is the minimum that we guarantee, okay? Guys, Andy Elliott's a great motivator, okay? And he teaches you how to talk. What I talked to you about on tonight's call was how to get to the other half of your money. Not to get a little extra because you're handling a few extra objections. That's not how you get to the other half of your money. You get to the other half of your money with all of it and fundamentally changing how you sell. Okay? Building my BDC department, wanting better ways to land appointments and build arrivals. Best training, guys, we have business development training right in our platform. Okay? I don't mean to sound redundant, but it's all in there. Guadalupe is agreeing with me. You have one mouth and two ears for a reason. If you listen to your customer, it'll give you bullets for your gun. Exactly. That's why I train that way. Sorry, I lost the internet, didn't leave. It's okay. You are a product of your surroundings. Yes, you are. Yeah, you're not going to have to buy leads, Horace, when you deal with Paid to Persuade. In this online training, guys, here's what you need to understand, okay? $2,000 solves your sales problem forever. You're not going to have to go out and mine additional information. It's start to finish, and it continues. Guys, every 3 months or so, we're putting new content in the platform to deal with current marketplace issues and trends, best practices, human resources, financing, all of it. It continuously updates, and it's me bringing you the information. And when you're on a call every week, guys, when you're on a call every single week with the founder of the feast, you get all the information up to the minute. It's like being in my building with me once a week and learning this stuff and getting access to the latest and greatest. Okay? Okay. Anybody got questions, guys? I'll literally unmute your microphone right now. I'll role play with you. Anything you want to do. Any questions that you have? Who's got questions? Anybody? Just wave your hand. Okay, I got you, John. I'm going to hit ask to unmute. Timmy, I'll get you next, okay? All right. Yeah, I got you, bro. Holding your finger up like this. I got you. I'll get John, then Timmy, then you. I see you. John, go ahead, sir.
My question was, how do you overcome the third baseman?
Define third baseman. Everybody's kind of got their own definition of that.
Okay, so you got your customer there, and then they got their friend with them, telling them the negative things, why they shouldn't buy, or what's going on with,
Yep.
the third baseman.
100%, bro. You flush that out at the outset, okay? So it's all in the training, but I'll give you a taste right now. So that third baseman's with the customer. You say to the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, the whole point of Paid to Persuade is solving for the objection at the outset, okay? There are 3 things that you need to do at the beginning of your conversation. Number 1 is you need to establish what brought them there today. What is the whole pretense of them being at your dealership, okay? But the problem is when most people go to do that, they say, hey, what brought you here today? Oh, I was just driving by and I pulled in, boom, drive by on the Foursquare, then they move on. That's the problem. Right there on that question, you need to go to town. No, I heard you, man. Everybody's just driving by before they're pulling in. But let me give you an example, Mr. Customer. The other day I had somebody come in here. They had just totaled their car and they were waiting on an insurance check. And guys, literally rattle off 3 or 4 situations that you've run into before that have caused you to get an objection and not sell a car. Share them with your customer and then say, and the reason I'm sharing those with you is because I don't want to have you run into a similar pain point today. I don't want to waste your time in any way. So I want to optimize for what's going to be the most efficient for you. So what was it that you would exactly hope to accomplish today before you left this parking lot? Oh, I want to Okay, in that process, do you want me to optimize for possibly giving you a great deal on an automobile if it's something that we could do today? Or do you want me to stay away from that because you don't want to be pressured to buy in anyway? Oh, no, we were maybe thinking about doing something. Okay, I'm with you. I noticed you brought your friend here. Is this the support animal? Is this your service animal? Make a joke, something that you're comfortable with, okay? Something that's not going to sound corny and cheesy coming out of your mouth. It's got to be in your normal tone and cadence. That's what this is all about. Don't use my words or my one-liners, okay? And then once you establish that, say, no problem. Here, what I deal with frequently is customers will bring an aunt, an uncle, a mechanic, a friend to help solve the purchase. And as we're going through that process, they'll give meaningful input on that, and I totally respect that. Would you like me to address both of you today, so that I can give you both this information because I'll be getting input from both of you? Or am I only talking to one of you and the input of the other human being doesn't make a difference one way or the other? And they're going to say, oh no, this is Steve. He doesn't know shit. He's got a freaking 400 credit score. What's he know? Okay, then you know he's a non-issue, okay? Now if they say, no, this is my Uncle Bill. He's going to be part of the process. Ready? Dopamine. Uncle Bill, I'm so glad you're here. Listen, man, I really appreciate what you're doing for Steve over here because we see a lot of people come in uneducated without any help. And, unfortunately, a lot of dealerships will prey on that. We don't do it here, but in case you guys don't buy from us today, which is perfectly okay, it's nice to know that you have this protection moving down the road. I'll make sure I give you any advice I can on how to make sure you get a great deal. Is that fair? Yes, that's fair. You bring him right in, you work him up, you release them. Yeah, we probably won't sell you anything today. Guys, if you're a salesperson and you're not comfortable saying, yeah, dude, we probably won't sell you anything today, but like in a week or two when we actually do business, I want to ba. Shitty salespeople go, oh, you can't say that. Oh my God, then they're not even thinking about buying. Bro.
Goes back to the takeaway.
To an extent, yes, but more so, 90% of your buyers have already made their buying decision before they even show up. Not what they're going to buy, not for what price, but they're buying something. So all you got to do is give them the path of least resistance to the end result that they want. That's all you got to do. It doesn't require any special selling. You just got to get them there. And you got to show them it's a frictionless process. I don't care if you buy or not. If you do, that's great. I make a little commission. If not, dude, it's not a big deal. We're not paid to optimize for pressuring you to buy. We're paid to optimize for the most cars we sell in a month. So if today's not your day, no worry, Charles. You too, brother. And if today's not your day, that's perfectly cool, man, because it'll just get me to the next person that is, okay? You need to release them. Because why? Because they come in like this. So what do you need to do? You need to get him here, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, John, when that guy, that third baseman is with him, you just start stroking that bad boy's ego. Everything that you talk about, listen, normally this would be an issue, but I know you know about this, right? And then what you do is you back him into a corner. You become an authority over that third baseman. How? Because you start inferring to him that he knows things he doesn't know. Yeah, and these ones have that incentivized interest rate for 72 months, but I'm sure you probably went over that with them, the incentivized interest rate. You already did? Oh, no, well, that's perfectly okay. Most people don't know about that, yeah. And this has the viscous coupler and the differential. You know, Bill, the one where, it engages with gravity and no? Okay. And what you're doing is you're systematically stripping that individual of authority. The minute you infer on them that they know things that they don't know, it systematically breaks them down to the point that when it comes time for you to close them, you are the authority figure. Because you've charged them with knowing all these things they don't know. So you make them look like a fool in front of their buddy, but you do it in the nicest way possible, stroking their ego the whole time. And then you're just like, dude, just let me talk to him, okay? And he's like, yeah, I trust you. You're good, guys. This is how selling is done, guys. Not with word tracks. Does that answer your question, my boy? No worries, brother. I appreciate the question.
Sir.
Yes, sir. It's a great question. Who got something for me? I know I had my man. I don't have your name, bro. It just says iPhone 3, and then I got. Timmy was first. Timmy, and then we'll go straight to you, my man, with the beard and the beater on. I got you, bro. You got some shoulders on you, man. Jesus. Okay. Thought I was the big guy on the call. All right, Timmy, I'm going to ask you to unmute, rock and roll when ready, bro. You got to personally unmute your microphone, Tim. You got to click the button. It won't let me.
Yep, so your story is pretty inspirational. I had a similar story. I was just wondering, the first question is what was the hardest part of, making the change? Obviously, I know you put a lot of hard work in, then also the first thing, if you can go over that again, please.
What was the hardest part of what, sir? Overcoming drugs or getting out of jail or starting the entrepreneurial journey? Which part of it?
Yeah, just your whole 360, because you made a total, change, and, it's hard to do that, to stay on track and everything.
Yes, that's a great question. So, I don't want to sound like a used car salesman, but it's all in the 0 to 60 framework, man. All of how I did it is right in the first part of the sales training. But to answer your question directly, because that's a great question, basically, man, I lived my whole life with one particular way of thinking. It was so guarded. I had no idea that I didn't know what I didn't know, okay? So as I started to open and understand, guys, when I was 19 years old, I was selling 30 cars a month at a franchise store. I was the number one guy. They gave me a company car. They made me a general sales manager at 20. I was the big swinging you-know-what of the dealership at 20. Do you know what that does for your ego? That screws you bad for the rest of your life because you think that you cannot be beaten, okay? So to your point, man, basically, if I had to narrow it down to one thing, what was the fundamental rotation, is when I got humility. For me, it was an ego problem. I thought I had all the answers. I was skinny, sucked out, couch surfing, broke, looking for drugs, thinking I was the best thing that ever hit the world, okay? But I'll take it one step further, man. It was about holding myself accountable to other people. Like humility and kindness. And that's going to sound so cliche right now. But when I started my car dealership, I went right back to, I'm the man, I know everything, I can close anything. You give me a lady with a ketchup popsicle and white gloves on a freaking hot November day with a tomato allergy, I'll still sell her the damn popsicle. But it got to the point that like I just felt like I was tapped out. Like I was working my ass off, but I was tapped out. And it was because I didn't engage authentically with people. I just sold them with words, okay? When I actually started caring about people, and I actually started showing that in the discourse, I was actually trying to develop what their pain points and their issues were. And then I wasn't selling based on a car and a number. I was selling based on fulfilling their need and helping them and actually caring about them. Walking them to their car afterwards, taking their deposits slowly so it didn't seem like I was just trying to grab their money, calling them, following up with stuff other than, can you just give me the names and numbers of 3 people close to you that might be looking for a car? Like have a conversation with them. The frequency of authenticity. If you walk away with one thing on this phone call, bro, you will become a better salesperson when you can just talk to people. When you can say to somebody, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when you can say to somebody, hey bro, like I'm here to sell some cars. I get paid a chunk of money if you buy one. I'd like to try to figure out how to sell you one, but I don't wanna like push you or pressure you or force you to. So maybe you just tell me what might actually make that happen today and I can just follow that process. You'd be amazed how many people are just like, yeah, all right, dude, well, I wanna get one of these, one of those. There's a question, so would you say not to study word tracks? Get as far from word tracks as you possibly can, okay? Here's what you can learn from word tracks, words. There might be a word in there that you don't know that you can help expand your vocabulary, but here's the problem with word tracks, and this isn't your question, brother, this is somebody that just chimed in the chat. When you use word tracks, you're using somebody else's words, okay? Think of it like this, okay? Think of James Earl Jones saying, welcome to Verizon Wireless, or Luke, I am your father. Now, if he said, there she was, just walking down the street, singing doo-wah diddy, diddy-dum diddy-doo. She looks good. She looks fine. Does that sound right? It doesn't sound right, right? Or Donald Trump was like, starting to spout off rap lyrics. Like me and my homies, we have the best homies. And the trap is something else. We have the best trap. The trap that we have is, it's quite remarkable. I love the trap. Everybody loves my trap. Trump trap is the best trap. You'd be like, what the f-? Right? So my point is, when you put something out there that ain't yours, people know. And they know on that frequency of authenticity, that wavelength, that they can just feel the same way that it didn't sound right with me talking about the trap. It doesn't sound right when you engage with your customers in a discourse that's not authentic. Make sense?
Yep. And then the other thing was, what was the inferred statement again?
Inferred statement, yeah. So like you wear a sharp hard line because all your brothers told you to do that, right?
Right.
Do they really?
No.
Exactly. Okay. So you're gonna be like, if that was a real question, you'd be like, no, I think it looks nice. Oh, right. So you like the way it looks. Yeah, I've just solved for why you wear a hard edge on your edge up, right? Okay. So, for instance, you can say to anybody, like, laddie, you wear your hat backwards because you don't want anybody to see the logo because you're ashamed of where you work. That's why you spun it around for the call, right? Like, no, dude, I wore it backwards because I rock my hats backwards. Oh, so it's just your thing. Yeah, it's my thing, right? Human condition, when you infer something upon them that's not true, they're compelled to kick it back to you and tell you what is true, right? So you're selling a car and they're like, yeah, that monthly payment's too high. Oh, the monthly payment's too high because it's more than what you're currently paying for your car. So here's an example of where this works really well. If they've got a monthly payment, okay? Timmy, if they've got a monthly payment and you're going up $50 a month, and like, yeah, the monthly payment's too high. Oh, the monthly payment's too high because it's what? It's like double your current car payment? Well, no. It was like a couple $100 more than what you're paying now? Well, no, it's about $50 more than I'm paying now. It's a little over $1 a day more than you're paying now to go up 2 years, trade your car, pay off the old one, and get into a 4x4. That's a problem. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm just a little caught off guard because that's like a dream scenario for most people. You see how that works? Yeah, I lost Timmy, guys. I think his phone cut out. He was in a shopping mall. Okay. All right, my man. Boom. My man in the tank top. You're upside down. Can you? There we go. All right, bro, I'm going to hit ask to unmute. All you got to do is unmute your microphone and you can rock. Just click that little, yep, there you go. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, does your program work for road guys? That's my first question.
What was the question for road guys?
Yeah. Does your program work for road? See, I'm not in the dealership.
Right. I just couldn't tell if you said pro or road. Like road, you mean outbound sales, on the road salesman?
There you go.
Absolutely, sir. So the Monday Evening Closers Club call optimizes for all verticals, all industries, all types of salespeople. But the actual sales training, the Paid to Persuade online platform, is for everybody. I run these webinars for people who do merchant services, for people who sell medical supplies, for people who are part of multi-level marketing schemes, just anybody who sells for a living, brother. This is the type of information that once you get this, you can literally be effective in any selling anywhere in the world, any place, because you have solved for the human condition. Anytime you're selling to humans. When you can master the art of discourse with another human being and communicate with them with a level of certainty and confidence that is almost superhuman, you can do that anywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, I connect with what you're saying because I'm not bragging, but I'm like one of the top salesmen. You know, I led companies for years in gross sales. I'm in the $100,000 range, usually between 80, 100,000. But and I only been selling for 10 years. But when I came in, a lot of the desk guys were old-fashioned. They wanted to lead off word track, which I never believed in because I feel like you just said you're talking somebody else's words. You understand what I'm saying? I would more connect with the customer myself and use my own self to sell. You know what I'm saying? And I like where you connect with the objectives. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel in the same frame of mind of where you're at. But the guys the team that I'm with, the people that I roll with, they don't think like that. They work. They have another classroom with them. Right? And I don't think that. I don't agree with that. But I outsell all of them, so it don't matter. But I just wanted to know if they do that because I'm probably going to be dealing with you because I'm trying to take mine to the next level.
Yep.
And you probably might be what I've been looking for.
I can tell you this, bro. Like, we have a money-back guarantee. We guarantee we get the results. We are the only sale. And that's what I'm trying to kind of convey to everybody on the call tonight. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger said, if you want to be bigger and stronger than you've ever been before, you have to lift more weights for more repetitions and eat more food than you ever have. It's that simple. There's no secrets. It's plain and simple, okay? People like to overcomplicate things. The bottom line is we are the only sales training company that offers a guarantee. That should tell you something fundamentally different about any other sales training that exists. So that's like 5 people walk in a room. One of them says, I can probably win at pool. Next guy says, I'm pretty good at pool. Next guy says, I'm really good at shooting pool. Next guy says, I was the 8-ball champion at my school. Fifth guy says, I'll beat anybody in this room. I'll bet him $100,000 and I'll do it now. Any takers? Which one do you want on your team? End of the day, plain and simple, you're absolutely right, bro. You're going to take that guy that is so extremely confident, but more so because he made a guarantee. He put his money where his mouth is. And that's what we've done at this company. We have yet to refund anybody.
I do it, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. I do it every week because I spend $1,200 to $1,300 before I even get a paycheck to get to the sale with my room, my travel, my room and board. If I got to rent a car when I fly in or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I usually like to be on my own. So I rent a car, I pay for my room, I pay for my flight. So I'm $1,200, $1,300 in the hole before I even start selling.
That's confidence, brother. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like you're putting your money where your mouth is. You know what you can do. So you're putting the money and you're investing in it. Now let me explain. Let me ask you this: if you could take that and elevate everything that you're doing by 50%, what would that mean to your paycheck at the end of the year?
Yeah, hefty increase for sure.
When we're dealing with outbound sales reps, guys like you that make their own schedule, guys that schedule their own stuff, close their own deals, nurture their own customers, we average 40 to 50%. It's different than guys that are just working at car dealerships because they're quite restricted. They're restricted in their scheduling. They're restricted in their lead flow, their ups they can take, their lunch breaks. When somebody's left to their own devices, now, if somebody's a B2B customer, meaning their company bought them the training, it's a different scenario. They're not as compelled. Their money's not on the line. But when somebody's an outbound sales rep and they've taken $2,000 of their hard-earned money and more and put it on the line, they're going to execute upon the information. And when those guys do, their results are incredible. Brother, this is fundamentally different information. The reason you're still here on the 1 hour webinar at the almost 2 hour point is because something resonated with you to make you sit there on the edge of that bed and wait for me to get to your question and answer it, because you said deep down inside you, this motherfucker's unlike anything I've ever seen before. He's just different. And so is the sales training. And the way you can know it is because of exactly what I've shared on this call. I stay with you the whole way. The entire time. You will be connected to me forever until I drop dead because I love the art of sales. So I hope I answered your question.
Definitely. I'll be looking forward to doing business with you.
Likewise, brother. Have a happy selling week wherever you're at. Be safe. Okay, guys. All right. Anybody else? Raise your hand, wave your hand, click the little hand raise. Any questions, comments, concerns, curiosities? Guadalupe says, how would you combat a large amount of negative equity and persuade a customer to bump in the payment of $100, $200 a month? It's situational, bro. You know that. Depends on the situation. More context would be helpful. But here's what I would tell you. It's not like you got to know each individual situation. That's the beauty of Paid to Persuade, okay? So you're going to solve for these things at the outset. At the outset of this conversation, you're going to know these things, okay? So when you're moving to the close, you already know this information. So you've pre-framed the customer this payment bump, okay? There's no situation when you train with us where you go talk to the customer, you go on the test drive, you come back, you go out look at the trade, you come in, and then you find out that they've got this negative equity. We teach you how to flush this out at the beginning. Hey, Mr. Customer, you know, that's your vehicle there. You're looking at trading that? Awesome. Great. Cool. Got that. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. And then there's a series of questions that we teach you to start inquiring about the trade-in and about the financing and how their credit is. And then you're asking if they're trading, if they're replacing it. Oh, on the last vehicle, did you leverage the power of a bank and pay over time? Or did you pay for it all at once? Oh, no, we used a bank. Okay. Were you going to be doing that this time around as well? Yep. Boom. One question. You solve for the fact that they're financing and they owe money on their trade. Mr. Customer, most customers are in a position where they actually owe more money on their vehicle than the car's worth. It's perfectly normal. We deal with it every day, and we have solutions for it. It's called negative equity. It means they basically bought a vehicle, and they might have only put $3,000 to $5,000 down. Notice you're using hyperbolic numbers. They've only put $3,000 to $5,000 down. So with taxes and fees and depreciation, they might owe $35,000 and the vehicle's worth like $30,000. So it causes $100 to $200 bump in payment moving to the next one. So do you think you're in a similar scenario, or do you think you're in pretty good shape on yours? Oh, no, I'm in great shape on mine. Oh, okay, super. That's because you put like $10,000, $20,000 down? Well, no. And brother, you systematically start disassembling them from the get-go. Jessica, you're welcome. I'm telling you guys, I'm not just some phenom. I'm following my own framework. Okay, the comment in there was, that one is great, thanks. And you're very welcome, Jessica. That's a lovely picture. But my point is this is not magic. I know I make it sound so sweet, and I am very verbose. I'm a good speaker, okay? But the questions are the same. Even if you said, hey, brother, see, you got your trade in there. Most of our customers, when they bought it, they only put like $3,000 to $5,000 down, like as the down payment. And usually their little flip-flop got some negative equity in their purchase. It's most people's perfectly okay. It's quite common. Do you think you're in a similar scenario? Do you see what I'm saying? You don't have to sound like me, a late-night FM DJ, hugging the microphone and singing the blues to make it sound good. You just don't need to. You just need the framework. Because human beings respond to stimulus, okay? All the extra stuff is just flair. And quite frankly, you'd be amazed how many people don't like it. They don't like the fact that I speak well. They don't like the fact that they feel like I could probably talk them out of their pants standing in a crowded room full of people. It makes them feel insecure. They feel like they are the inferior party in the situation, and that I am the more powerful entity, and I could talk them out of their wife. People don't like that, okay? Now, I would never do that. The old me would, the new me would not. I just don't do those things. But the point is, not everybody wants to hear the slick snake oil salesman gig, okay? Some people, not some people, everybody just wants an authentic discourse. They just want to talk to you. They just want you to solve problems for them and have conversations and share with them something that we call, one of the pieces of the human condition that we call, everybody loves to feel like they're a part of something. Okay? You want to get through hard sales conversations? Make people feel like they're not the only one that has that pain. Notice what I said to you is, don't worry, Mr. Customer, most people that we see have this, it's negative equity, and it's because, they put only $3,000 to $5,000 on it. Most people are in this situation, and most people, they're like, oh, okay, this is everybody's problem. It's not just my problem, okay? When people feel like they're the only one and they get embarrassed, they start to clam up. When they feel like it's just one big negative equity party, no worries, John, I appreciate you, man. Have a great week. When they feel like it's one big negative equity party and they're just part of the club and we can solve it, no big deal, that's when they engage, okay? Awesome, guys. I appreciate every one of you. I'm going to put down in the chat here, roll call and email, okay? If you want to be a part of that live roll call, just put your email in there and I will give you a link to the roll call. We're going to do it during the week. I'll send you an email with all that information. I'm going to put the offers in here again. Boom. There we go. That's in the chat. Oh, Timmy. Thank you, Timmy. We got you. I'll make sure you get it. And guys, on that checkout page, I want you to remember that these are webinar-only deals. So anybody that's still lingering here, saying to themselves, man, should I do this? Should I not do this? Here's what I can tell you. I want you to think ahead 6 months from now. And I want you to think about not doing this and where you're going to be 6 months from now. What your income is going to look like, what your life will be. Then I want you to consider that it's possible to double your money. And then I want you to consider that this is the answer. Then I want you to consider what your life looks like in 6 months if you do that. With that, I hope you have a great week. I appreciate all of you that stayed all the way till the end. We still have nearly 20 people in here. And well, it dropped off quick the last 30 seconds when I said I was leaving. But I hope you guys all have a great week. Go crush it. Remember, confidence, content, and cadence. Go kick ass. Take care.